Bhagavan is one and Ekameva Dvitiyam Brahma, the Vedas say. There is one Brahma. Eko hi Rudrona Dvitiyaya Tastur. So there is one Rudra. That means that Krishna and Shiva are one. Okay, there are no two gods. There is one God. There are two different forms of one God. There's a story in the Puranas that Shiv once told Parvati that Parvati, let's go to Mrityu Lok for a walk to do some Leelas. And Parvati said, my lord, why do you want to go there? We've been there before. Shivji said, this time we will go differently. So how? I will go as Radha and you go as Krishna. So Shiv came down as Radha and Parvati came down as Krishna. How will you understand this? Well, Bhagavan is one. They are all his different forms. There is a story in the Puranas that Vamadev Maharaj, the guru of Mother Parvati, he asked her, Parvati, your husband Lord Shiv wears this mundmal, this garland of heads of beautiful women. Have you never asked him whose heads are these? He invoked jealousy in Parvati. The beautiful women's heads that your husband is wearing as a garland. So Parvati became very curious. She went and asked Lord Shiv, my dear husband, whose are these heads that you wear so close to your heart? Lord Shiv avoided the question. So Parvati's curiosity increased. She said, please tell me. He kept avoiding for 3 days until Parvati was so agitated. So Lord Shiv said, Parvati, why does it concern you so much? She said, why should it not concern me? You are my husband and you're wearing the heads of these beautiful women as garlands. So please, you have to clarify whose heads are these. Lord Shiv said, Parvati, these are your heads. What do you mean? Each time you reject your body, each time you give up your body, I am so attached to you. I preserve that head and I have made a garland out of it. Parvati was pacified, but she said, my lord, I keep giving up my body. You never give up your body. What is the matter? Lord Shiv said, Parvati, the reason is I have got the Amar Katha, this immortal story. By virtue of that, I am immortal. I don't need to give up my body. Parvati said, my lord, if you have this Amar Katha, please give it to me as well. So when she requested him, he said, all right. But this is very special because if somebody receives it, that person also will become Amar or immortal. So I will tell it to you in Kailash and ensure that nobody else is hearing. So Lord Shiv clapped. All the living entities cleared off on his instruction. There was a little egg of a parrot. Now the egg was there. Lord Shiv said, let me go and check up. Has everybody left? He went and saw there was nobody around. So he came back. He said, all right, Parvati, when I start speaking this Amar Katha, I will go into Samadhi, divine trance. So at that time, I must have a confirmation that I am being listened to. So please keep filling the humkar. So I will get my affirmation and I will continue bestowing this Katha. Parvati said, all right, my lord. Now Lord Shiv began with the Katha of the Pandavas and of the various pastimes of this Amar Katha, and Parvati kept hearing and filling the humkar. Now, this little parrot egg had hatched, and the parrot bird baby was also listening to the Katha. So Parvati was listening in divine ecstasy till the 10th canto. And then in the 11th canto, the 11th skand, Lord Shiv started relating the deep knowledge, the philosophy, and Parvati got bored by it. So she fell asleep. Now the parrot was so enticed by the Katha it was hearing, it said, I don't want to miss this. Now with Parvati sleeping, who's going to fill the humkar? So the parrot started saying, Lord Shiv continued. He went through the 11th canto, 12th canto. When he was winding up, Parvati woke up. She said, Maharaj, you said that there was this divine discussion. What happened about it? You did not tell me. Lord Shiv said, Parvati, what are you saying? I have already crossed it. Did you fall asleep? She said, my lord, actually I did. The subject was so difficult, I could not resist sleeping. Lord Shiv said, then who was filling this humkar? This is serious matter. Somebody has received this Amar Katha and become immortal. He went out to search and he found this little baby parrot. Now as a Leela, as a pastime, he got annoyed and gave chase to the parrot. So the parrot fled, and Ved Vyasa's wife, through her mouth he entered her womb and sat down inside. This was the great Shukadev, the future speaker of the Bhagavatam. Shiv's instructions, the 9 rishis, the 9 yogishwaras, they went to test Parvati. So they saw Parvati performing austerities, a young lady. They said that, for a young lady to be in this isolated place, so cold, so austere, what are you doing? Parvati said, I am embarrassed to say, you people will laugh. No, tell us. She said, I am performing austerities to get Shiv as my husband. So the 9 yogishwars, they tried to test her. They said, but don't you know that Shiv, he's a Baba, he applies bhasma on his body and he wears a mrig charm. He doesn't have any property, any wealth. Those bhoot, pret, ghosts and spirits are his associates. Why don't you try and get Vishnu as your husband? Vishnu is the abode of all good qualities. When they tempted Parvati like this, Parvati made an amazing statement. When Sati had rejected her body, Shiv, in complete detachment, was roaming around as a Baba. And finally he came back to Kailash and sat down when Lord Ram came. So Shiv was of course pleased to have darshan of his Ishtdev. Ram said, everybody asks you for a boon. I am also going to ask you for a boon. On hearing this, Lord Shiv was delighted. Because Lord Shiv, although he is God himself, in his divine Leelas, he looks on Ram as his Ishtadev. Shivji said, Prabhu, your wish is my command. What do you want? Ram said, Sati used her intellect in my Leelas, as a result of which you rejected her. She burnt her body in the yajna of Daksh, and she has come back as the daughter of Himalaya. She is performing tapasya to attain you. When the proposal is given to you, please accept and marry her. Shiv said, if that is your wish, I will fulfill it. So now, on Shiv's instructions, the 9 rishis, the 9 yogishwars, they went to test Parvati. So they saw Parvati performing austerities. They said that, for a young lady to be in this isolated place, so cold, so austere, what are you doing? Parvati said, I am embarrassed to say, you people will laugh. No, tell us. She said, I am performing austerities to get Shiv as my husband. So the 9 yogishwars, they tried to test her. They said, but don't you know that Shiv, he is a Baba, he applies bhasma on his body and he wears a mrig charm. He doesn't have any property, any wealth. Those bhoot, pret, ghosts and spirits are his associates. Why don't you try and get Vishnu as your husband? Vishnu is the abode of all good qualities. When they tempted Parvati like this, Parvati made an amazing statement. She said, look, Shiv may be the abode of all defects and Vishnu may be the treasure chest of all good qualities. If I have loved on the basis of qualities, then I am still selfish. That is worldly love. My love is selfless. I will either marry Shiv or I will remain Kumari for ages and ages. That is my final verdict. So the 9 yogishwars were very pleased. They went and told this to Lord Shiv. Now Lord Shiv, when he heard this, he was delighted. He again closed his eyes and went off into Samadhi. At that time, there was a Rakshas called Tadakasur who was oppressing the Devatas a lot. And they were unable to kill this powerful Tadakasur. So Brahmaji said, if there is a child born to Shiv and Parvati, that child alone can kill this Tadakasur. So Shiv and Parvati need to get married. But Shivji is in Samadhi. What to do? So they commissioned Kamdev. They commissioned the god of Cupid and said, you go and you break Shivji's Samadhi. Kamdev came with all his associates. And he started creating an environment out there, increasing the desire of the atmosphere, as a result of which the stream started running towards the ocean, the creepers started clinging to each other, clouds started merging in each other. But Shivji is still sitting unmoved. So Kamdev was totally annoyed. Finally, he took an arrow and he shot it at Lord Shiv. When that arrow hit Lord Shiv, he opened his eyes and he said, Arey, bada rangila mahal hai? What is the matter? My Samadhi has been disturbed. So he saw Kamdev, he became annoyed, he opened his third eye and he burned Kamdev to ashes right there. All the yogis became happy. Now Kamdev is finished. We will be very, very happy. The bhogis became very sad. How will we enjoy? Everything became neeras, dry. the wife of Kamdev, Rati, she started crying. Shivji felt pity at Rati. So he said, all right, your husband Kamdev will now be Anang. He will be without a body, but he will exist. So the Devatas, they came along with Brahma to Shiv. They requested Maharaj. They did not give the real reason why they need the marriage. They said, nobody is interested in marriage any longer. Please, you have to create some ras in this world. You have to get married to Parvati. Shiv agreed. So the consent was given. The news was sent. Naradji, he went and he informed Parvati that you can now go home. Parvati went home. The preparations started getting made. Himavan and Maina, they were delighted that our daughter is going to get married. So here, the Bharat was being prepared. All the Devatas came. When Shiv is going to get married, it's a big, big event. So Indra, Varun, Kuber, Agni, all of them came. But they were all decorating themselves. Nobody is concerned in decorating the Dulha. So Shringi Rishi, he said, all right, never mind. He called all the Shiv Doots, the Rudragan. So all the Bhoot Pret from the various Shamshans, he called them over. Come on, decorate your master. So somebody is hanging scorpions from the ears and somebody is putting the snake around the neck. Such decorations as have never been done in the world. Now Shivji is starting off on Nandi. The Devta said that, it is below our dignity to walk with such a Dulha. Let us do one thing, let us walk in front, ahead. So the Devta started walking ahead. Shivji is walking behind. He is beyond Man and Samman, he doesn't care. The whole Bharat, it reached Himachal. So now the residents of Himachal, they saw the Bharatis so attractive, so well dressed. Vishnuji was right in front. They said, are you the Dulha Raja? He said, no, I am the Bharati. They said, look, if the Bharati is so handsome, how will the Dulha be? We are very eager to see him. Vishnu said, after seeing him, whether you will live or not, that is the question. So finally, when Shivji entered, now his Bharat, Ko Mukhahina Vipula Mukha Kahu Binu Kara Pada Ko Binu Pada Bahu Vipula Nayana Ko Nayana Vihina Rishta Pushta Ko Atitan Khina. Somebody has a mouth out here, somebody has got one eye, somebody is very fat, somebody is very thin. These kinds of the Rudragan, they are all walking. So moment the Bharat entered, all the Himachal Vasis, they ran out of the town. So Shivji said that nobody is here to welcome me. What is the matter? So Shringi Rishi said, Maharaj, this is the Mahima of your lotus feet. Nevertheless, let's go to the mandap. Now they went to the Vivaha mandap that had been readied. And of course, Himavan welcomed Shivji. Maina Devi was called, please come and do the Aarti. And Parvati was also called. So Maina Devi took the Aarti plate to do Aarti of the Damat. And when she saw Shivji, the Aarti thali fell out of her plate and she fainted. What is this? So she started cursing Narad that what kind of marriage have you arranged? They all tried to convince her that, come on, don't you know him? She said, under no conditions will I marry my daughter to such a Dulha. So Naradji had to be called. Naradji convinced that what are you doing? Don't you recognize he is Jagadish? And your daughter is his eternal Ardhangini. She has been born again as your daughter. She is his eternal associate. So finally Maina Devi was convinced and the marriage took place.